Hey guys, and welcome back. So, today I want to share some tips for beginner artists. I have seen this question being asked so many times, so I thought I'll put together my 5 top tips if you are just starting out to be an artist. So, here we go. The first one is practice. It's I know it's like the most basic tip ever, but it's the most important. Draw every day, draw everything, draw from real life, draw from reference. Make drawing a everyday habit for yourself. Because I know so many artists just expect to be good as soon as they start, and that's not how this is going to work. You're going to have to practice and constantly repeat drawing the same things over and over again. So you learn the technique, you learn the structure, you learn how to draw. So, a few tips to probably help you start off would be dedicate a very specific time to draw each day. That would be one of the things to do. Keep a small sketchbook on hand so you can draw from life anytime. So it's always accessible to you. So I find that if drawing is not really a habit for you yet to draw every day, making it accessible, making it easy and available to you is probably the best way to start. So keep something on hand so you get inspired and you do a quick drawing, or have a dedicated space and time to draw each day. Because the only and the best way to improve is practice. There really are no shortcuts, unfortunately. So, if I haven't said this enough, practice. Second, get the basics right. Don't jump to painting extremely detailed illustrations. That's not going to work. Get the fundamentals right. It doesn't really matter how well you painted something, or how well you got into the shading, or you got the details, or how much time you've put into it, if the structure of the painting is off, right? If the perspective is off, it's not going to work. If the anatomy is off, it's not going to work. So it doesn't matter how much time you've invested or how much detail you've put into the painting, if the basic structure of your illustration or your painting is not working. So invest your time into getting your fundamentals right. If you start off your painting with a strong structure, your painting, your illustration, your character design, it's going to work, right? So get your basics right. Invest all your time into learning perspective, anatomy, color theory. Third, fear not. Don't be afraid of making bad art, right? Because that's exactly how you're going to learn and make progress. Your first painting, your first even 1,000 paintings or drawings, I would say, are not going to be the best, and that's fine. You need to get those out of the way to get to the good art. You definitely get better over the years, and the more you draw, obviously, the better you will get. Believe me, artists of all level make bad art, and that's how you get to the piece of art that you really like. That's kind of, getting all of your ideas that you have onto the paper and then picking out the best that works with what you want. So don't be afraid of making something that's not working, a painting probably that's not working. It's fine. Just get it all out of the way. Get all your ideas onto the paper, get all your bad drawings out so you can get to the good part and you can make progress. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you don't know something, you don't understand something, it's okay to ask. In fact, it's great because that's the only way you will get an answer, and that's the only way you're going to improve. So, ask questions. And at least from my experience, artists are always looking to help each other. I've always gotten so many answers and so much help from the art community. So definitely Go out and ask for help, for feedback, for any questions you may have. Don't be afraid. Go about and make some bad art, get it out of the way, ask questions, ask for feedback. Talking about feedback, have you seen my video about how to ask for feedback? If not, check it out. I give some good tips, and hopefully that will help you get the most out of the feedback and the critique you ask for. Okay, on to tip number 4. This is probably, I think, the hardest thing for artists to do, and that is don't compare. Don't compare your progress, your art, your style to anybody else's. And literally etch this into your brain, into your soul, your mind, that everyone has their own speed, their own journey. As far as you're better today than you were yesterday or a month ago or even a year ago, that is progress. Because the thing with comparison is that it often leads to a lot of negativity. Because when we are comparing, we are thinking more about the other artist, their journey, their successes, more than our own. And sometimes we don't even know enough, or we don't have all the facts about the amount of time and efforts and years of hard work they have put into their skill. This kind of leads to an unrealistic expectation out of yourself, and that is really not helping anybody. It can be really hard to focus on your creative growth when you are so focused on someone else's, because comparison is generally about, oh, look how well she did the illustration. I am never going to be able to do that. Or look, the technique that he's used in his paintings, and that's never going to work out for me, or I don't know how to do that. That kind of generally leads more to I am never going to be able to do that. And that is not going to help you progress. Now, if your comparison is more on the lines of, oh, hey, I really like how he painted this, maybe I should try the technique, right? Now, that is going to lead to progress. That is going to probably lead to you asking questions and trying to experiment and figure out. That sort of comparison is great because that is leading to progress. But if you are getting more negative about it, that's not going to help. And I think we all artists, as artists, we end up comparing, and that is not the best way to progress. So, as hard as it can be, try not to compare yourself or your artistic journey with anyone else's. Okay, tip number 5, art supplies. Don't worry so much about what pen to use, what colors are the best, what brushes to use. Now, don't get me wrong, you obviously need good quality art supplies you're comfortable with, the paper you like, the pens you like, sure. But don't confuse having good art supplies with them making you a good or a bad artist. It doesn't matter what art supplies you use, because that does not define anything. That does not define or determine how good or bad you are. What you do with them defines your skill level. So focus your energy into learning anatomy, perspective, storytelling, color theory, all the good stuff, versus trying to figure out what the best art supplies to do so are. Because, of course, now if you're trying to upgrade your brush set, for example, and you like something you see, it's great to ask a question of how the artist likes it or what they like about it. That is different. But don't expect your skill level or your art to change just because you buy an expensive set of brushes or paints, or try to use the exact same pen that somebody else uses that you look up to. Because it's not the pen or the specific art supply they use that makes their art so good. It's their skill set that they have developed over the years that makes their art so beautiful. All right, so there you go. These are my top 5 tips for beginner artists, and I hope you found these useful. If you have any questions, if you're starting out and you have any questions and something I probably have not addressed here, please let me know and I'd be happy to answer them. So, thank you all for watching, and like always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all back here next week. Bye.